Good morning. Welcome back to today's reflection. It's early morning and I'm starting my day. I just wrote in my journal. But before I begin, if you would like to subscribe, please subscribe. If you want to receive more insights that I share, also hit the bell button if you'd like to get notifications when I've posted a new video. So this morning I wrote in my journal, I was thinking about disillusionment. Disillusionment is the disconnection from what we might believe to be true, a disconnection from what we feel has been given us life, what has been sustaining us, what has been giving us meaning. And when we look at disillusionment, it's disillusionment. We are being disconnected. And I want you to hear this. Disillusionment is being disconnected from our illusions. Those things that are illusory, those things that appear to be real, appear to be true, but are not true. There are so many things that we have caked in our brains and our minds and our psyches that appear to be true, but are not true. We have philosophies and religious ideas and concepts all around us, whether we are aware of them or not, that shape how we live our lives, that guide us. We have people who are divided against one another because of their belief systems, the things that they've held on to, the things that they have been told. If we go back 40 years, people had ideas about race that we no longer hold on to today as a society. There may be other groups that still hold on to those beliefs, that certain groups are more superior and inferior than others, but that's an illusion. That is not true. And yet there are still people who hold on to those identities. We have all kinds of illusions that we think are holding us together, but that actually separate us. They cause a division within, but we hold on to them anyway because we somehow think they're true. And sometimes we need to have disillusionment come into our life to break us from those illusions. You may have had an issue with maybe gay people, and you had this belief about people being gay, and then all of a sudden you have a child that turns out that they're gay, or you have a grandchild, or maybe a best friend, or someone that matters to you, and all of a sudden that illusion in your mind that you had is being changed, it's being looked at, because now you have to deal with this issue in a whole new way, and in some ways you're now disillusioned. You're being given the opportunity to disconnect from that illusion that you had about this group of people. And I can give you a whole list of examples. This is why disillusionment comes into our lives, to disconnect us from the things that we think are true, and to invite us to open up to a new way of seeing the world, seeing ourselves. Disillusionment comes into our lives to disconnect us and for us to have our own inner light turned on. Your own inner light, your own way of being in the world. Matthew 5:17 says to let your light shine before the world. Let your light shine. Some people are living off the light of other people, the light that was handed down to them, the truth that was given them. Live this truth, follow this path. But what happens when that path, there's a blockage, there's a disconnect, something happens in your world, and now you're questioning the path that others have given you. It's no longer making sense to you. This is what happened to me in my understanding of Christianity. I was disconnected from the ideas that I was giving about my Christian faith. And many people struggled with that. They called me a heretic. They said a lot of things about me because they didn't understand why I left, quote unquote, the faith. I didn't leave love. I didn't even leave Jesus. I left the version of Jesus that was handed down to me, and I went through years of disillusionment, years of disconnection, so that I could find my own light. So that I'm not living off the light that was passed down to me. I'm living a light that's been born in me through my disillusionment. So disillusionment becomes the gift. Disillusionment is the life giver. Disillusionment is something coming down from heaven and lighting your candle so that you can go out to the world and have a message. Martin Luther King Jr. had his own light. Malcolm X had his own light. Gandhi had his light. Jesus had a light. Buddha had a light. All these different missionaries and messengers had a light to give to the world, but they could not have their own light without facing their own disillusionment. And what I want to share with you today is that your disillusionment is your greatest gift. It has given you access to a new path, a new way of being, life to the world. And God, don't we need disconnected people who are disconnected from their hate, from their bigotry, from their sexism, from their sectarianism. You know, we have some 30,000 various versions of Protestant faith. Everyone believes they have the better version of Jesus. How can that be? There is no way we can contain God. God cannot be contained in a package of Baptist or Lutheran or any of these different types of versions. You can't contain the master of the world. What man can contain a God? There's no way. The universe, we can't even contain the universe itself, let alone God. So God remains this mystery. Whether you believe in God or not, I'm not here to argue that. Maybe you are a philosopher and you just want to give the world a new way of seeing the world. What I've been hearing in my gut is this desire for us to transcend all those things that have divided us, and that we can somehow see each other's humanity and treat each other accordingly. That's what my light's been telling me, is to push away from the things that keep us apart and to move towards that majesty that brings humans together. Like this moral arc that's calling us to take this cognitive dissonance that's inside of us and create something beautiful with it. This is what disillusionment does. It disconnects us and plugs us into something new, something we haven't seen yet, something we haven't been yet. Your disillusionment is your gift because it alone turns on your inner light. What is your light? What song, what message, what poem, what vision is awakening inside of you? So many people are afraid of the change that we see in society. And yeah, there are a lot of scary things, politically, socially, things that are bigger than we are. Or at least they seem, the illusion is that they're bigger than we are. But what if we didn't go back to hate and division and separation and anger and fighting and infighting? What if we got quiet, sat with ourselves, and really allowed that feeling of angst and disillusionment to create something fresh and new and alive and vibrant and life-giving and life-serving and life-supporting, to where we as human beings can find a way? There's enough for all of us to survive if we but have the courage to soak in the mystery of love and let it awake something new in us, a new light, a new path, a new vision, a new soul. Think about that. Your disillusionment is your Peace to you.